Hey everybody, it's Charlie from DM Sound. Today we've got the sound system demo on the Lamborghini Huracan Sterrato and its 10-speaker Sensonum audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at audio inputs, adjustments and controls, and speaker locations. Then we're going to head out on the road and listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Now if you don't care about any of that stuff at the beginning and you just want to hear the music, click ahead in the video. We've got chapters to get you right to the tunes. And I recommend listening with headphones so you can hear exactly what I hear in the driver's seat. And before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. One of the most special versions of the Huracan to come out, at least in my eyes, the Sterrato. So this one, arguably one of the easiest to daily drive as well, coming with a little bit of a lift compared to your standard Huracan, but still the glorious V10 motor behind us, making for a very unique driving experience. So if you do want to see more on the car, check the link below. We're doing a little bit of a drive review. Of course, got that winding road coverage as well. Everything will be linked below. Now, we always do these tests with lossless, uncompressed wave files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality Roland binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. We also did a test with the sound settings set to their factory default, so let's take a look at those now. Nicely built into the lower dash here, this kind of center console, touchscreen infotainment. A little bit less conventional than some of your other more driver-focused machines, but hey, this car is not about infotainment, it's about the driving experience. But we're in the media screen now, and I do have to apologize, it's very difficult to keep fingerprints off of here. But we're going to come down here to the volume button. We're in the media screen now, but down here on volume, and then this icon brings us to our sound settings. And first we're greeted with balance. So you've got kind of a front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance deal. You can sort of move the sound around the cabin here. Oh. And interestingly, I've been having an issue with the system changing inputs on me randomly. So it'll either stop playing my USB drive here, or it'll just kind of start random inputs. But here we are, back into the balance screen. Get it centered out. You can also focus the sound on either the driver or all. Now, typically, driver has a more direct sound and is better in phase for somebody sitting right here in the driver's seat. So typically, if you're listening to talk radio or softer music or kind of more advanced music, you're going to want to have it on driver. We might shift back and forth between them, but obviously if you got two people in the car, then sound focus all is going to be your best bet. Below that, we have a surround slider, so let's go up and down with that. So you can really hear those rear speakers adding a kind of surround 360 effect, although it does make your music sound a little bit more hollow. If you want a more true to recording sound, you're going to keep that down on minimum. And then you have speed-dependent volume control, so as you get going faster and you get more road and engine wind noise, it's going to make up for that with the music there. Now, I don't actually see a reset functionality to bring this back to factory defaults without resetting the entire system. So I'm going to probably, like I said, leave surround on minimum and sound focus on all. But then below that, you have an equalization screen. And again, music seems to have stopped here. I'm going to try switching. Oh, yep, you hear that? All of a sudden the FM radio kicked in. So I'm going to switch to my backup USB drive and see if maybe I'm having an issue with this drive or if it's simply the system. All right, let's give this one a shot, see if it fares better. So back to our audio adjustments. We've got this equalization screen that gives you adjustments for treble and bass. Let's turn the music up and go through those. You do notice a good amount of adjustability with the bass. The treble, maybe not so much, and obviously no mid-range or any other sorts of adjustments to make with the system there. And that's all you have for audio adjustments. For audio controls here in the Huracan, you've probably seen me pressing it, but your one volume control is down here. You press that to bring it up, and then even though it is a little frustrating to not have any sort of physical volume control, it'd be nice if... Oh, yeah, okay, that drive's failing again. So, again, I don't think it's the drive's fault. I think the system just is not playing well with USB here. Let's try switching to the next track, see if it keeps playing a little more. If it keeps doing that, it's going to be really frustrating to shoot this review. Anyway, I'd like a physical control on the steering wheel, but I kind of get why they don't have one. Even though this can be a little bit frustrating, it is nice that Lamborghini actually gives you 100 different steps of volume, so you can really fine-tune it exactly where you want to have it dialed in. Some cars don't give you enough fine-tuning ability there. I would like at least a way to just quickly mute it, though. That would be nice. And for track control, same deal. You got to do everything through the touchscreen, so you make your way to the media menu and click through tracks like that. For audio inputs, here in the Huracan, you have, going back to our home screen, radio, giving you FM, AM, and Sirius XM. It looks like there's a little spot for web radio as well, but perhaps that's not set up. Do we have HD radio support? Let's see. Yep, it was disabled for some reason. But yes, you do have HD radio for FM and AM. So be sure to turn that on if you like listening to FM radio. Then in the media screen, you've got USB-A ports back there for data with support for wired, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. And you've also got Bluetooth streaming support. So what does that mean you're missing? Well, there's not really any sort of Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, anything like that built in. No streaming there. No wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And no 3.5mm auxiliary input jack. Speaker locations. Now, this one was a little tough for me. I think I have the 9th and 10th speakers narrowed out, but there's not a ton of information for this system on the internet, and I will confirm with Lamborghini next week. If it's incorrect, I'll put a little insert in the video here now. But from what I can find, you've got a woofer down here, 1, and then a mid-ranger here, 2, tweeters up there, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 on the other side. And it seems that there's some sort of speaker in the door there, making 7 and 8. That's the best I can find, is that there's from the images I found online, a speaker sitting down there, and then you've got mid-rangers in the back, 9 and 10. Now, the other possibility is that maybe the ones in the back there are kind of two-way speakers, or these ones in the door are, but I listened around, I looked around with flashlights. That's the best I can find out for speaker locations. All right, I'm gonna get this stuff put away, and we're gonna head out on the road. Now, I've tested 2 different USB drives and both USB ports on the vehicle, and yet the music keeps switching over to the FM input randomly, and I'm fairly confident it's an issue with the car at this point, because I was driving it around earlier this week with no music playing, and then all of a sudden the FM radio would kick on. So I apologize for the interruptions in the songs. I'm just gonna have to roll with it. the system does well is power and impact and a general envelopment that is admittedly satisfying. And there's a lot of music you turn on, especially simpler music, that you are getting a fullness. And because the speakers are sitting so close to you, there is a satisfaction to listening to a lot of your music. However, the system is not very accurate. You notice that especially up in the higher ranges. If you're listening to music that you've heard many, many times before, the reproduction of different instruments and vocals, you're going to be thinking to yourself, that's not supposed to sound like that. So while the system doing its job by making the music at least satisfying to listen to, there's not that polish that I think a lot of people are going to expect from an upgraded sound system. But speaking of power, for this next track, we're going to turn the bass all the way up and see what happens. Subwoofer, there is a fullness to the music that does go a long way. Here on the 10-speaker sound system in the Lamborghini Huracan Storado. Sorry, I'm thinking so many different acronyms right now. A lot of people love to hop online and say, oh, well, why do you need a sound system if you've got that glorious V10 behind you? I'd just be listening to that the whole time. And on one hand, yeah, I get it. I spend a lot of time listening to the engine in this car. But I also spent an hour and 15 minutes sitting on highway slog and traffic getting to some beautiful mountain roads the other day to go film this car. And you bet I was using Android Auto to listen to high quality music during that time. And in my perspective, the Sensonum or Sensonum or however you pronounce this audio upgrade gets the system at least to a livable, a bearable standard. I think our music has stopped again since this system can't seem to play WAV files consistently. But I've heard the super basic 4-speaker sound system in the Huracan Technica, and it was absolute trash. It was so bad, in fact, that I chose not to record a dedicated sound system test on it because I just didn't want to do Lambo dirty like that. It was really, really bad. This system is okay. I'm going to be giving it about a C+ in terms of objective sound quality, and I'm not even gonna contextualize that into kind of cost or vehicle category or anything like that. It's fine. What it does is it allows you to listen to music and it to sound fine. And if I were in the market for a Sterrato and I were using this car on a regular basis and kind of daily driving it, or even driving it a few times per week, taking it on trips, I would absolutely check that box regardless of, I mean, it's like a $3,800 option. That's small potatoes in grand scheme of the actual car price. Now, if I were getting something more like a Technica, an STO, an Evo, if any of those came with the option to get the Sensonum, I would ignore it, because I'm probably using that car strictly for performance driving, strictly for kind of one-off sort of sunny day sort of drives, and I'm probably not really using the sound system. But if you're getting a Sterrato, you might be putting some more miles on it, and by all means, check the box, because this is going to allow you to listen to your favorite music and at least not be too disappointed. It sounds fine. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to hear more on the car, I should say, check the link below. We've got our full drive review, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from DM Sound, and as always, drive on. I'm gonna add a few more thoughts right here at the end of the video now that we're kind of slowed down. I don't have to be putting as much mental effort toward driving. I don't like the volume control. For a car that you've got to pay so much attention to your driving situation, there's no visibility in here. You really got to be paying attention around you. At least give us some sort of quick method of quickly changing the audio volume, whether it's on the steering wheel or something physical down here. Don't make me look down at the screen and click a few different touch buttons to change the volume. So that's a pet peeve of mine. And for more kind of dynamic breakdown on the system, like I said earlier in the video, it's missing high-end clarity. I do like the sound stage. I like how more of the music's coming from in front of you with just a little bit of that support from the rear speakers behind. And I don't think it needs a subwoofer. I think these woofers down here in the doors are doing an okay job. It just needs, I don't know if it's a better speaker. I'm sure better speakers would help, but a better amp and tuning to crispen up all those mid-highs and then the super high-end tweeter sounds, and then allow you to get a stronger, more satisfying punch from those low ends. So thanks again. We'll see you on the next one. Drive safe, everybody.